Welcome back, Bear Bets Podcast. We're here one final time in the summer of soccer. Euro final on Sunday afternoon, Copa final on Sunday evening. Joined again by my co-host, Geoff Schwartz. Jeff, did you get to Bank of America Stadium there for Colombia, Uruguay? And if so, were you involved in the fracas post-match in the stands?
I actually started it. Yeah, it was me. I started the fight. No, I did not make it there. It was about 100 degrees outside on a Wednesday night. I've sat plenty in the heat before, but wasn't doing it for this one. It looked like fun, though. I will say, I was very impressed by the Colombia fans. There's a lot of them. The stadium was full of yellow there. It did not look like a Panthers home game or some split jerseys. It was all Colombia. Obviously, the post-game fight was not great. Didn't seem like it was a good situation there. But nonetheless, looked like a lot of fun. I sent you guys videos. I mean, there were fans there. It was hot. It was hot on Wednesday. There were people there 5-6 hours beforehand, tailgating, enjoying themselves. And pretty cool environment for, again, I mean, Charlotte's not close to Colombia or Uruguay. And yet there were a lot of fans there.
It's not?
No, it's not. Thank you. Yeah, I flew the next morning out, and there were a lot of the Colombian fans were going home or going somewhere else to come back. Were they playing Sunday? Is it Miami?
Miami.
Miami. Yeah.
Finals in Miami. Yes.
Going to Miami for that final match.
Yeah, I'm told from my buddies down in Miami that the get-in price just to get in the building is about $2,000 a ticket. So it is it's a monster ticket.
It's a smaller stadium. So it makes sense, yeah.
And it's going to be a ridiculous scene. So that is the second game on Sunday. But the first game is England-Spain. It's been the best team of the tournament, Spain, versus the ugliest, probably most fortunate team of the tournament, England, on Sunday afternoon. Spain is slight favorite on the three-way, plus 145. England, plus 240. Draw is plus 185. Spain, minus 145. England plus 115 to lift the trophy. The match is in Berlin. It's where Spain began their tournament with a 3-0 win against Croatia. So here we are, Jeff. England is somehow, despite trailing in the round of 16 1-0, trailing in the quarterfinal 1-0, trailing in the semifinal 1-0, found their way to get through with a game-tying goal in the 5th minute of stoppage time against Slovakia, tying goal in the 80th minute against the Swiss, and then the winning goal in the first minute of stoppage time against the Dutch. So they have been fortunate. As I quipped last week, they've been the team that they're sitting at the blackjack table with the 16, and the dealer's holding a 6, and they're saying, hit me, and they're getting a 5 every time. So I guess the question for you is, will that run continue on Sunday?
I'm ready to get hurt again, Bear. I'm ready to wager against England and lose my money, because every time this has happened, England finds a way to get it done. At some point, Bear, maybe this is just their play style for this tournament, but it does bite you, right? You play a team like Spain, you can't get down early. You can't try to claw your way back in the 85th minute or 93rd minute. So the question becomes, can they play this play style and beat Spain? I would say no. I'm gonna wager on Spain, Bear, but I keep wagering against England, and they keep doing enough to win these matches. But I feel like, and look, there's a lot of parallels in other sports, right? Where, for example, college football, which we love, right? Washington last year kind of got by. They had some games where they win by 2, win by 3. They won a game without scoring off at the touchdown. They beat a Texas team where Texas had a chance to win at the end of the game, and they play Michigan and get their butts kicked, right? And so it's a situation where England sort of, as a 2-point, they sort of get by, right? They had a substitute make I think that was his first international goal, I believe.
Yes, it was.
So you're going to have these players that are doing things they have not done before for England to win these matches. Does it end all against Spain? And previous history in sports would tell you it does, right? We see this all the time. I mean, we've seen it where baseball teams get hot out of nowhere and then play a better team in the World Series and get smoked. So I do think that it does feel like Spain, they are better. We know that. They're playing better. They're winning games in a way that is more sustainable. I would wager on Spain. I will wager on Spain, but I'm prepared to get hurt again, Bear. You called it last game after it was tied at 1. you text the group and said, this smells like a 2-1 win for England, and they won 2-1.
Yeah, it won hurt. We had a lot of Spain, Netherlands named the finalists futures, and we gave out the Dutch to reach the final, and I was certainly not happy with the penalty call in the first half. It was the people out there who were like, "Oh, it's easily an automatic penalty." Like, yeah, real easy that the official didn't call it a penalty on the field. Basically, every player was headed back upfield because they were expecting the goal kick the other way, and then all of a sudden, I just wish somebody would have asked Harry Kane after the match, like how he was able to muster enough strength and energy and heal so quickly after being in such immense pain and suffering such a brutal, vicious foul in the box there. Like he looked like he wasn't going to be able to continue it the way he was acting on the field. And then what do you know? He was upright and just fine to get up and take that penalty after the VAR review.
I've kind of sort of held my tongue on social media about some of like the flopping in soccer. I've done my best.
Don't hold your tongue. Don't hold your tongue
because I know
let it out.
I know it fires up soccer fans when a casual like me waltzes in and says, "You guys are soft." But I think some of the players are going to die, and they are able to come back on the pitch. It is quite remarkable there to see the. Now, I will say, sometimes I think when you're running full speed at kicking the leg, it's going to hurt. Like we know that even if you're wearing the shin guard, like sometimes they're getting kicked in the ankle. Like those hurt, but sometimes it's like, can you just knock it off for a second? Like you didn't get the call, just get up and keep playing. You're not going to get the call. I'm still learning. I think maybe all of us are. What sometimes is a yellow card, what's a red card, what's a penalty. Because of VAR, you're able to change a lot of these things in real time. So, look, I'll just say this: through my journey of Summer of the Stars, Bear, I don't know if I like wagering on soccer because not that anything is in control when you wager, but it does feel like this is some of these matches are so out of the control of the players, right? With VAR and with the penalty calls that are made, and there's no sort of standard. Sometimes it feels like for some of these fouls and yellow cards. Again, novice, maybe people listening are like, "You're wrong, Schwartz. It's uniform." But I look on social media, I get a small part of our society, and people agree with me that some of these calls sometimes are all over the place, Bear. But it is what it is.
And that's and you're kind of living it now with what I live betting the sport regularly. Is that as being an under player like me, the worst thing in the world is when you get a penalty, and it's a questionable penalty or a VAR decision or a card that puts a man down, and you're looking at a man advantage. Like when you get those types of situations, that's something in the handicap that you can control. So as me as an under player, when I see a penalty, it's brutal. If it was real, and I get the whole tactical fouling to slow matches down. I get staying down on the ground to help your attackers and your midfielders who have kind of been running around, catch their breath for a little while. I get it, but yeah, that call on Sunday certainly flipped the game around. That wasn't Sunday. It was Wednesday. It felt like Sunday. Sunday is the final. So it definitely altered our success for the tournament. But you look at the match on Sunday. Neither team has conceded more than one goal in the tournament. Under 2.5 has hit in all 5 of England's matches. Spain won all 3 of their knockout round all their group matches to 0, and then in the 3 knockout round matches, both teams have scored. Spain have won 8 straight matches, looking for a record 4th straight title. Both teams trailed 1-0 in the semi, came back and won 2-1. Spain actually took a 2-1 lead right before half. And then you look, the people always talk about like history and does it matter? It's a trend. The teams are different. I say, yeah, the teams are different, but the situation is the same. And if you look at these Euro final matches, the last 2 went to extra time. 4 of the last 5 and 9 of the last 10 have been under 2.5. So that tells me that the way these matches are played, regardless of who is in it, they are tight, they are tactical, they are slow, they are drawn out. It is not wanting to make a mistake. The only one that didn't go to extra time was a 4-0 Spain win over Italy in 2012. So that's the exception. More often than not, you're looking at 1-1, 0-0, extra time kicks. That's the way these matches go. And I think if you look at the way England played after they scored that penalty, especially in the second half, they were fine with that match going to extra time. So I think we're looking at another slow, drawn out game. I'm going to play under 2.5. I'm going to play draw, and I'm going to play England on the double chance. Look, it's one of those like fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, ain't gonna fool me again type of deals. Like it just feels like I'm not gonna battle destiny, and I admit some of it is a little bit of a hedge against the Spain futures that I have, but this England side, they probably should have been knocked out a couple of times already, and they are not. Here they are. Every sub that Gareth Southgate has made so far is panned out and worked out. People, why are you subbing Ollie Watkins on for Harry Kane? And sure enough, Ollie Watkins scores the winning goal to put them into the final. So I am going to play England on the double chance. I'm going to play under 2.5, and I'm going to play draw as well.
Look, I under 2.5's been hitting for the most part. Obviously, there's been some games where it hasn't been. I'll probably roll with you again, maybe in the first half under. But man, I'm prepared to lose money betting against England again. So we'll see how it goes for me.
But you know what you're getting into though. You're walking right, eyes wide open. You know what's coming. And
I do.
It's just how it is. I am curious, and we talked about this a lot the last couple of podcasts. Like, I just don't know what's going to happen with the player of the tournament if England were to win. Yeah. Like, no one deserves it. No one has stood out. No one's been great in this tournament. So, like, are you looking at a thing where either Dani Olmo or Rodri or Lamine Yamal win the player of the tournament in a losing effort, like Connor McDavid did in the Stanley Cup final? Because unless one of these players from England go out and have an unbelievable final, like there haven't been any standout performances just to go kind of go along with how unlikely there and how fortunate this run has been.
Yeah. So one other wager I might take, and I think I'm like 0 for both tournaments and goal scoring props because I've had four goals scored now that have been disallowed. Foden, I think, is plus 900 for any time goal. He had a shot go between the legs of the goalie that was stopped on the goal line by a Netherlands player. And then I think he had one off the post as well.
He did.
And so I feel like maybe I might go back to plus 900 Bear. I believe that's what I saw this morning. Might be worth a sprinkle for me on just saying, hey, man, maybe one of these goes in against Spain.
Yeah, he certainly played the best match he has played so far in the tournament. And as much as I dump it on England here a little bit, the first half was as good as they looked the entire tournament. And it was they probably did deserve a goal in the first half. They didn't deserve the penalty. They maybe deserved something else. But they did play great in that first half. And then the second half was kind of a snooze fest where the Dutch had most of the play before Watkins did get the game winner. So we're in a little bit of disagreement here. Maybe I'm being a little bit pessimistic and contrarian and kind of hedging my bet a little bit, and maybe I don't truly believe what I'm saying. But I'm seeing the warning. You're walking into it. So we'll see which one. We'll see which one of us.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing there. I have eyes wide open.
We'll see. We'll see what happens in the Euro final on Sunday, and then the Copa final later that night. Argentina plus 125 on the three-way. Colombia plus 280. Draw plus 195. Argentina minus 170 to lift the trophy. Colombia plus 130. Argentina won last year's final 1-0. They haven't conceded a goal in any of the last three Copa finals that they played. As I said, this has been a very ticket in demand, I should say. Just about $2,000 just to get in the door at Hard Rock Stadium. Colombia, unbeaten in 28 straight. Last loss was to Argentina. And if you go back since that November 2000, they beat Argentina in November 2007. Since that game against Argentina, Colombia, 1 win, 4 draws, and 7 losses. So this has not been a team that Colombia have had much success against.
No, it hasn't been. But those numbers for Colombia seem pretty good to bet on a team that's hot. I mean, it scores a bunch of goals. Like I feel like those. I don't know if they're going to win there, but I will probably wager on them because those numbers are pretty good. You get plus money to advance, plus money to win in regulation. Plus 280 to win in regulation. Essentially,
plus 280 to win regulation. Yeah,
that feels like a good number, right, for a Colombia team that's playing really good soccer. We've seen they've won games different ways, right? They 5-0. Mm-hmm. They just won a physical game with Uruguay, and they won that game with a man down, right? For the most part. How long were they a man down for? 70 minutes, 60 minutes, something like that.
The entire second half, and then like the last.
Yeah.
Well, it was late. It was late first half. It was right around stoppage time. So basically the entire half. Everyone hears about Bielsa and this strategist. They played against a 10-man Colombia, and I think in the second half they had 2 shots on goal. Like it was an unbelievable job, by Colombia there to keep Uruguay at bay.
So they have 12 goals in 5 matches. Rodriguez has been fantastic. I just think Colombia for that price Bear is where I'm going to go here. I don't know. Again, Argentina is very capable of winning this. Mm-hmm. They're going to need a best performance from Messi, who hasn't. He's looks his age at times, right, Bear? If they get that performance from Messi and sort of, we see a lot of veteran players that are the best of all time sort of summons themselves in these moments, so betting against him is, I think, fool's gold time. But I just think that number for Colombia is too good to pass up.
Yeah, and just the way you need to factor in your handicapping here as well is Colombia obviously have had the far more difficult path and lead up to getting to this point. The draw in Brazil in the group stage, and then that street fight the other night against Uruguay to get here. Whereas, look, your Argentina got gifted a group that they were in and the path that they were in as well. Like to play Canada in the knockout in the quarter for the semifinal there. Like, and I guess that people have said maybe Argentina hasn't looked great, but is it because they kind of have known they haven't necessarily needed to look great, or the other side is, have they not had it in them? Or do they no longer have it in them as well? Yeah. So I think you can look at it both ways. Like Colombia has needed to be on their A game, the top of their game, basically, I don't want to say every match, but for the majority of the tournament, whereas Argentina hasn't really needed to show it. So it'll be interesting.
The only pushback I have on that is that I feel like, like at some point in the more important games, once you get past the group stage, like you sort of have to play to your full ability to win. I know their competition hasn't been great, Bear. Mm-hmm. I get that, but they're still important games, quarterfinal games, semifinal games that you expect to see the best, even if it's for 70 minutes of 90, right? And so the idea they can just turn it on, which is certainly possible. I always have trouble with squaring that idea. And as far as Colombia's fatigue, it's the final game. Like, come on, right. These are professional athletes. They're gonna be fine. I mean, they just are. I don't believe I've seen some, kind of reading up on these matches. The reason Colombia loses is fatigue. I mean, sure, I guess maybe, but these are professional athletes, Bear, in the final game of a very important tournament. I was thinking about this in my head to bring up to you in this. So, if you were to sort of rank like winning a title is in soccer, is World Cup one, I would imagine. And then is Olympics next, or is it Euros and Copa next?
I think it's Euro. I think with the Olympics, you're dealing with I think it's under 23 in Olympics, so it's not all of these senior players, but it's definitely a World Cup, and then like your European Championship or your Copa Championship.
Yeah.
then I would say Champions League, and then your domestic league title would probably be your hierarchy.
So I don't buy the fatigue thing for this game. Like, yeah, they might be tired, Bear, but if they got 90 minutes, obviously can go a little more than that to win a championship they all care about. And so I think Colombia will have their best legs on Sunday.
Yeah, and you remember too here, we're not going straight, much to Alexi Lawless's dismay, we're not going straight to kicks if this match is tied after 90 minutes. There will be extra time, and then we will go to penalties. If you look at Argentina's games so far, all 5 of them under 2.5 hit in all 5 of their games. Argentina 1-0 in 4 of them, and then we're a minute away from beating Ecuador 0. So it feels like another under type game. I'm going to stay away from the side here. I do have an Argentina future, so maybe I'll hop in live on maybe I'll hop in live on Colombia if need be. But I'm going to play under 2.5 here as well.
Of course, you're playing under 2.5. Every time our gambling group texts and group chat, Bear, what are you doing? Under. So I'm not surprised, Bear. You went back to well with the under there.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Obviously, we got beaten both semis. There were 3 goals scored in both of them. So we did take an L there with the but for the tournament, majority of these games have gone under. Anything else?
No, that's it. We're good.
Soccer.
So covered.
You're still kind of on the fence. I haven't made you a full soccer convert, have I?
I've watched more soccer than I ever have in my life, and I have enjoyed it. It has been fun. My wife has said to me, like, she said like many times, like, are you soccer? Are you watching soccer tonight? And so it's making its way in the household, Bear. It's made its way in the household.
Yeah. Kids into soccer?
The kids have not been home, so they've been in camp. So I don't know if they're pointing to it.
No, I mean, in general, do they play soccer for? Okay,
no,
okay,
no soccer for them. They just never been into
it. Basketball, baseball, right? That's daughter plays basketball. Son plays baseball.
Swim.
Okay.
Baseball, softball, swim. They play basketball, flag football, but they're really into swim. Baseball, like softball are their favorite. Yeah.
We got the Torpedo Junior and the next Katie Ledecky in the Schwartz household.
I hope so. Let's make it happen. College for free.
That's the goal, right? College for free should be
yes.
Every parent's motto for their kids. So that's all we got for now. We will be back at some point here to talk about something near and dear to Jeff's heart: football, college football, and the NFL. We'll figure out a nice schedule to get into our season preview, some win totals, some conference titles, and all those other futures. But so we'll keep you posted on social media about when we're going to be back. So hopefully you enjoyed the soccer. Hopefully we'll have a good successful final on Sunday and end on a high note. Appreciate everybody who has listened and watched and subscribed and rated, reviewed, and made fun of us and complimented us and yelled at us. And I'm sure they're going to yell at us again some more after they hear the penalty rant. But it was fun. So I appreciate everybody out there. And remember, the less you bet, the more you lose when you win.